So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how you can make human resources HR surveys on Outgrow. And as you can see here, HR surveys do really help you in revolutionizing your workplace. They help you with automating feedback collection and making better decisions, as well as in overall increasing your workplace's efficiency. And with Outgrow, our surveys differ from surveys that you'd find on other websites because you can see that they're interactive and personalized. You have over 10 different question types that you can use in the surveys, and you can have a range of templates for performance reviews, employee satisfaction, leadership effectiveness, and work-life balance. And these are all very easy to create and embed, and you can also launch them directly in emails if required. And finally, Outgrow's Builder has this amazing analytics section which allows you to easily create reports by filtering all data through any custom criteria that you set. So now I'm just going to jump to the dashboard and show you how to make one. So once you're in the dashboard, you just head to the poll section here, and then you click on select a template, or you can start from scratch if you wish, or you can just click on select a template and pick one of the surveys in the industry HR here. You'd find all the industries here and all the surveys listed to the right here. And so for instance, if you wanted to make an let's just say job satisfaction survey, and then you just click on preview here, and you'll find so if you click on preview, you can see which one you actually want to use, which of the templates. So let's just try to like figure this one out. And one can click here, one can enter information there, or you can have these graders to test something, or you can have a rating or single select, and you can see all of these are here. And once you fill all of that up with something, you can just go to the next section where it finally asks for the name and email before directing you to the result. Now you can have different results based on like how people answered the survey as well. So, and in the results page, you can obviously include any kind of video, or like any kind of picture or something from your company. Anything that you want to put here, you can put it there. And you can also have a button here in addition to that that can redirect the people to another survey or to like another web page. So that's there. So usually in this survey, as you can see, there wasn't so many options to have pictures and GIFs, because this is a particular template that is very direct and it just has like direct questions and rating. But there are other templates in this thing which have the ability to have a lot of pictures and GIFs in them. So depending on what exactly or the level of engagement you want to have in your surveys, you can pick a template that suits your need the most. For now, I'm just going to show you how to make a job satisfaction survey, which is this one right here. So once you can either just click use template here, or you can just like once you're in the preview, you can also click on use layout here. And once you click that, it's going to open it up in your builder directly. And once you're in the builder, as you can see, we have these little boxes, not so little boxes, but these boxes that help you out with understanding how you can use the builder. So let's see, tip number one, how to use the builder. Click the element to edit its properties. So what he's saying is anywhere on this central screen here, if you click anywhere, the properties will open up either to your right hand side or to your left hand side. And similarly, if you click on anything here, and then tip two is these three tabs are to edit page properties, lead generation properties, display properties, and tip three is click this button to add a new question or lead generation section. And finally, the fourth tip is at the end, you just publish your content by clicking here. Cool. So what it really means is like this is the central screen that you really need to pay attention to. So if I click anywhere, for instance, if I wanted to edit this text here, I click on this and it should open it up here. This was already open, so you didn't see that. Let me just click on something that wasn't open. So for instance, this question, if I want to edit it, I click here, and as you can see, this changed here, and it's now showing you the question and the text of the question, which I can just directly edit from here if required. Similarly, you can see when I clicked on this, it also highlighted this box because the question is right here. So as you can see, if I click on this one, then it highlights the next question because it's right there. So the way to go about this is You think of a survey title, which you can edit. Think of a background image, which you can edit from this little pencil that shows display settings. So, here's the background image, and if you click on replace image, you can either pick from any of the images available here, or you can just upload your own image, or if you want, you can also upload a GIF from your computer directly, or you can just drag and drop it here. So once you've done that, you can see the next option here is tint. Sometimes the image is very intense, so the text is not readable. So you might want to tint it or fade it out so that the text becomes more readable. So if this was the original image, it was pretty dark, so we just like tinted it out so that it was more legible. And then you can change the font of the survey if required from here. And then you can also change the logo, like currently with the Outgrow logo is here. But if you want to change the logo, just click on this logo here, and then you can just upload your own logo. So once you click on this, it'll automatically open the this section of the builder that allows you to change this logo. Once you've done that, let's go on to the survey itself. As you can see, it has all the questions that our panel of experts have designed for a job satisfaction survey that are required for a job satisfaction survey. But obviously you can remove any questions that you don't think you want, or if you want to like edit something. For instance, this one says I've been working at Outgrow for, so obviously you replace this with the name of your own company here. So, and again, you can let's see. So this is the first section, and let's begin the survey, it says. But you can even change this text and make it more conversational if you like. You can be like, hey there, I hope you're having a nice day. Anything you want to say to make it more conversational and make people feel more engaged to answer this survey, you can do that. And in addition to this, you can also add a third help text that explains, there are going to be so many sections, and we tend to do the survey for this and this reasons, and it helps the department out in this way. So, anything you want to add, there's the option for you to do that. And in addition to that, there's also the option to have a countdown timer. If you want to, in certain cases, you might want people to answer the survey within a certain amount of time so that they don't like come back with really big replies. So you can add a countdown timer, and you can add how much time you're allowed in each section. So it's really up to you. The level of customization allowed here is really high, and you can choose how many of these options you would like to use or not. So if you go to let's begin the survey, that's the first question here. If you wanted to add more options here, then you just click on add option. Yeah, so currently there are like 3 options. If I wanted to add another one, then it just comes here. If I want to delete an option, then just click this little X box here. And yes, I can also see you can also have like icons here instead of having just like text. So I could put something relevant to that particular option here. So you can just like take a look from all these options present. So it just makes it more engaging. If you instead of icons as well, you can also have images completely. So as you can see, again, you just click on this little box here, this photograph box here. You can either pick images from our little colored icons here, or you can just upload your own image if required. And in this upload section, I didn't actually explain, you also have the option to just paste the link of an image from online, and it will just upload the image from there. So you can have images or GIFs here. So the main point of this is that you can make the survey look like really interesting and really engaging. And instead of like just having textual things, if you have like GIFs, and you can really put like some memes from about office and workplace here, so that it looks like a fun survey to take, and people are then more honest about their responses because they think it's like fun and engaging. So you can do that. And I'm not putting any images here because I guess that'll take a lot of time for me to find images online right now, but I just want to show that you can do that. So similarly, in this case, we had currently what was going on was a single select. So only one option can be selected at this point in this question. But if, assuming if it was a question that where you could also, want people to select 2 things, you can also just click on multi-select, and then people can check multiple boxes here. Similarly, there's an option for text input, so which is in the second question already. So as you can see, if you wanted what I like best about working for Outgrow, question number two, you can see the minimum characters allowed. Just put 0 and 0 if you don't want to put any particular limit. That would allow them to write as much as they want. And this is just says alphanumeric. That means one can enter numbers as well as letters in this section. So as you can see, there's this option for text input. Then there's text area, which is bigger than text input, because the thing with text input is usually used for like single sentence inputs. But if you want someone to write an entire paragraph about if they have a particular complaint against someone, so if you're making a complaint generator survey, then you have a text area there where you can, as they're typing, they can also see what they're typing, because they can, keep typing for an entire paragraph, the length of a paragraph. So that's what text area is for. Then you also have the option for drop down. Is there one here already? There isn't. So for drop down, again, let me see a kind of question in which you could have a drop down. In this one, I think if I click to drop down, as you can see, a drop down menu opens with all the options. Now, this is really helpful. A drop down menu would be helpful in case you have like, a lot of options, because if there's like 10, 15, 20 options, you don't want them all displaying here and like taking up all the space. So instead you can just have them all in a drop down menu, and that's just going to be helpful in the way it will just make the survey look better. So that is the drop down option. Then there's the multi-select option, which I already explained. Single select was the one that was there by default. And then you have the option for a numerical slider. So if you want to, currently here we have like, a rater. This could also work as a slider, but the slider looks just like much cooler and better. So for instance, if you wanted to ask them, what are your, I don't know, salary expectations? So you can have on the left side of the slider, you can have the minimum, and on the left side, on the right side, you can have the maximum. And then you can even put a suffix. So if the salary is in USD, then you put a suffix, and then it will show here 0 USD at, oh, it's because it's clicked on 10 right now, but the thing on the left of the 0 USD and on the right would be 10K USD. And you can put the default value, which means the value that is showed by default, on which the this slider would be when someone opens a survey, and you can just put that as, say, 5,000 USD, and then it'll just be there, so they can like move it around. So that's what the numerical slider is for, and you can use it for a range of questions. It doesn't have to be for a salary particularly. You can anything that's got to do with numbers. Like it can also be the number of paid vacation days you would like. So on one side you can have 0, the other side you can have 10, and then you can have them move the slider around to see how it suits them. And then finally there's the option for opinion scale, which is here already. So I get along with my team and we communicate well, and then you can just say I agree with this completely, 10 agree 100%, or 1 completely disagree. So there's the option for that, and then you have the option for a rating, which you can use to it's right here. How would you rate your salary? And then you can like leave a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. And in the rating option, you can also like, depends on what you do. I mean, like if you're a company that's selling, say, watches, you can make it more engaging by just putting, little watches in this rating scale. So, how would you rate your salary? And you're like 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. Or how would you rate for instance, how would you rate the punctuality of your colleagues? And you have little watches, clocks here indicating the number of stars, and they're like, oh, 4-star, or like 4 clocks, 3 clocks, 2 clocks, up to you. So there's like a lot of option to make this really engaging, so it's up to you. Finally, there's also an option for a date and time picker, which you might need in case someone wants to, so someone answered a survey and say they had a complaint, or say they had something that they want to talk to the HR about, so they can directly book an appointment from the survey itself. And it also has the ability to show a time picker, so they can pick a particular time and they can pick a particular date. And so that is the thing you can do with date and time pickers. And finally, there's the option for file upload. So once they're done taking the survey, or if in the survey you require them, to upload any kind of file, PDF, doc, Excel, video. If it's a complaint, I keep saying complaint, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind. But for instance, if it's a bill for something, if it's an expenses bill or something, so they can upload that directly from this as well, and it will come directly to your email with the survey results. So it's really up to you in what way you use any of these options. But what I wanted to show you was that within this single job satisfaction survey template, or in any template on Outgrow, you have so much option to customize how much you can ask, and so much option for how engaging you can be with your survey. So try to play around with this as much as possible. And yeah, so let's then go ahead to the lead generation form. I didn't talk much about this section on the left, but it just shows you the welcome screen, the section one, and all the questions here. So in the add option here, you can add a second section. Currently, you can see there was just one section on one page, but if you add a second section, then it would have a second page with another section, as I'll just add it for fun. So here it is, and you can keep adding more questions in that as well. So section one could be about employee benefits. Section two could be about work-life balance or anything. So up to you. But the trick is to keep the survey short and engaging. So I wouldn't recommend too many sections. Or if you're having too many sections, don't have so many questions in each section. So up to you how you want to do that. And finally, a lead generation form, which you wouldn't necessarily need for an HR survey, but just in case you want to get in touch with the employees, you can ask them for their names and emails, either at the end of the survey or at the beginning of the survey. It's really up to you. So if you click on this, then right now it says ask for lead generation form after the questions, but you can also say ask on the welcome screen, and then it would just put it on the welcome screen. So that's that. In the lead generation form, actually, you can also have other things. So for instance, right now it says full name, email, then you can add a field and say phone number, then you can add a field and say so as you can see, first name, last name, full name, email, phone number, American phone number, location. So it's really up to you, and anything else you come up with, you can also ask that. And so that's that. And finally, in the results section, so once someone's done with the survey, you can put a video here, you can share any text here, and then you can also have a button that leads people to a second survey or to a particular part of your website. It really depends on how you want to use this. So let's see in the default results settings. I have added a video, so you can just put your own YouTube video link here, and it would just show up here. And the call to action, which is the button, can lead to any website, which you can put in here. And you also have the option to subscribe to, you can have little widgets that allow them to subscribe to your social channels, your Facebook account, your company's Twitter account, and they also have if you're showing them particular results based on how they answer the questions, you can also turn on share on social media so that they can share the results with their colleagues if necessary. So it really depends on what use you put these surveys to. For instance, this whole survey could have been a job application. So for instance, I could redesign this whole template as a job application. So I'd say apply for our creatives position, and then you ask them for a name, email, and all that, and then you ask them particular questions about their track record, their educational past, their experiences, and all that, and then they just click submit. So what this allows you to do is to actually get all that data from all these different people. Instead of getting CVs that are all different, you can now have all this data that looks the same, is in the same format, and is easy to process. And once you've done all of that, just remember you have to publish it. So once you click on go live and publish, you can preview how it looks before you publish just by clicking on this eye icon here. But once you're done, just click publish, and it would publish, which it should have. All right, so it'll publish, and then it will show you the link from which you can send to people. You also have the option to embed this on different parts of your website, or if you click here, it will show you more places where you can embed it. embed on a mobile full screen, embed mobile in a page, pop-up, chat, custom embed. There are all these options where you can like embed. Uh, so once you're done doing that, you can go back to the builder. This is like build. The embed was in the configure section, but that hyperlink led you there. And that's that. Then you also see, you can't analyze this right now because I haven't shared the survey with anyone, so there are no responses. But if I had a place that had responses, I'm just going to pick a survey that has responses to show you the analytics section. Okay, so you click on analyze and you can see all the data. So you can see total number of visitors, total number of people who actually started this survey. So a lot of people might have gone to the homepage but not started it, but some of them started it. And then number of people who entered their email at the end of the survey or at the beginning of the survey. And then conversion rate usually measures the number of people who actually entered their email versus the number of people who visited. So that's that. And engagements is the number of times users shared it on social media or something. And you can see this data for any particular date. So if you click on this, it'll open a calendar and you can see it for each month if required, and all that. So it can also show you all the top locations from where this was accessed, and you can hover over it and see there were 233 page views in the States and 40 page views in Canada and all that. So it shows you all that data, and then you can see how many people accessed it from the desktop, from mobile, from a tablet, and then you can see from which websites it was accessed, or what page it was directly accessed from, whether there was like 6.8% was accessed, like 6.8% of the total views came from Facebook. So you can track all of that, and then there's this option in the browser to see what kind of browser was used. And this option is helpful because if a lot of people are using it from Chrome, you try to go back and optimize the survey for Chrome. So if you know what kind of browser your people are using, then based on that you can go and optimize it for that particular browser. So after that, once you've taken a look at this, then you can go to user details, and here you would find the answer to each question. So first you'd see the date on which someone accessed something, their email address, their full name, their location, what they clicked on. Did they click on your YouTube link that you posted at the end of the survey or not? The number of questions they answered, number of the questions they left unanswered, what outcome they got in case you've plotted different outcomes for how someone answers a survey, where they visited from, what was it, a desktop, mobile, source, Facebook, direct, redo count if someone did the survey multiple times. And if you finally click on this little magnifying glass, you can see how everyone answered each question. I'm showing you a different template here because there was no data for the other survey template because we just made it. So as you can see, there are like 4 questions in this one, but if there was in your survey there are 20 questions, you'll see the answer to all those 20 questions. And this is the email, and you can also delete a particular answer if you want to delete it. Okay, so that, and these are the leads. So people who basically gave in their email. Visits would show you everyone who visited, even went to the homepage, and you'll see where they came from, when they saw it, and all that. So leads versus visit, that's the difference. So what you can also do is segment all users, and you can segment them by basically adding criteria. So you can segment them by how they answered the first question. So how they answered the first question, what kind of result they got, or so if people answered the first question with option A, you can get a list of all the people who answered option A, and then what you can do is you can export that list into Excel, or you can export it to your other software tools if required, and you can also see if they got a particular result. So based on that, you can see all the people who got that results, redo count, source, when they visited, from where they visited. There's a lot of options here by which you can filter all the data. And there's also finally the option to filter all the data by particular dates. So you can add one filter here, then you can add a second filter here, and then you'll have a certain amount of data, and then you can export all of it to your Excel sheets or to another department if required. And so that's that. And one another thing that I wanted to show was the configure section where you have the option of showing. For this, I'm going to go back to our original template, which now I'm going to show you the configure section. So if you click on configure here, there are a couple of things you can do here. You can name your survey something so that that's how it's going to show up on Google. You can change the link itself. So, you know, you can say, uh, you can say XYZ companies HR survey. So, you know, you can, it's really up to you how much you want to customize. Uh, Then, if you go to SEO, so this will show how your survey would show up on any search engine and what is the description under which it would show here. So, you know, when you look up things in Google, there's an Outgrow Job Satisfaction Survey, this is the link, and this is the text, hypertext meta description beneath it. And this is important because this is how also when someone shares it on Facebook or, you know, in your internal company platforms, this is how it's going to show up. So you might as well want to know what text you want to put here. And these two options allow search engines to like show the survey in their search results. So it depends on whether it's an internal survey, you probably don't want to show it, but if it's an external one, you can. If it's like a job application, of course you can, and all that. So another thing you can do is you go to email notifications and use a notification. So when someone takes a survey and then they put their email at the end of it, you can send, they put their email address, you can send a custom email to them, to each person who finishes the survey. So it will automatically send an email. So you can put your own email address here and you can put any name from which you want to send it. So that you can put your own name and then you can have any subject like, you know, thanks for taking our survey. Thanks for taking our survey or anything you want to put there. And then, you know, there's an option to actually have this email be really personalized. So you can be like, hi, and full name, which is, it will then get the data from what they entered inside the survey. So you'll get the email and you have all this data that you can also like, you know, use to personalize the email based on how people answered the questions. And then, so for instance, you can construct a sentence: just for your record, your result was this. Or if you are talking about the answer to a particular question, like, just for your record, you answered question one like this, and based on that, we have this to say. So, you know, you can customize any of these variables into a comprehensible sentence, and you can send really personalized email to every person who has taken this survey. So you can see this options available to you, but do remember to turn it on, as the only way it's going to send the email. And there's also the ability to have a notification to self. Now that means every time someone takes a survey, it sends an email to the person who created the survey that someone has taken your survey, and these are their details, and you can add as many details as possible: name, email, and, you know, all that. So this survey will come to you, or if you want to like say you created a survey for a particular department and you want the boss, the guy who's in charge of the department, to know who all have finished the survey. So he gets an email every time someone finishes a survey. So you can just add his email here, and you can have like, you know, name, email of the employee, and if that employee has taken a survey, it will shoot an email to his boss saying that the employee has completed the survey successfully. So yeah, so this is helpful for that purpose. And then we have the option for integrations. If you want to send the data for whatever reason to any of these other softwares that we have, then you can just like click and configure here, and then it would allow you to send all that data. So I think that covers it. One last thing that I wanted to show is a lot of people tend to take surveys and, you know, all that stuff on mobile. So make sure you also see whether this is optimized for a mobile view. So, you know, whether it looks good on a mobile view. And as you can see, it looks pretty nice here. So it's up to you, but just do give it a look in the end to make sure that it's working out. So I think that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at questions@outgrow.co. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for any more marketing related updates. We come up with new features all the time. And if you're subscribed, it's going to be really helpful. So thank you.